I'm Don Burns with I Am Lakeland. I'm here with Sherrita from
Chocolate covered.
Chocolate Covered. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you.
I want to thank Cohats for being a guest, letting me use their room. So Sherrita, I see you every Saturday morning when I take my family because we're local. We walk that whole strip every Saturday.
Yep.
A lot of the regulars are there. A lot of the new people even come around, and we say hi to each other. And I just like to promote anybody and everybody in Lakeland. And you and I said hi the other day. And I said, you know what? I need to get her on here because I see you every time, and I haven't promoted you. I want to do everything I can. How did you get started with Chocolate Covered?
Sure. So thank you for having me. Thank you for thinking of me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
So about, I guess 2 years ago, my family and I, it was about January, and we were thinking about chocolate and bacon because we go to the Strawberry Festival every year.
Oh yeah.
And they have that booth, and you dip your bacon in that chocolate, and it's so good. And it was January though, and so we were like, man, somebody needs to have that all the time, not just once a year. And then we just kind of looked at each other and said, what do you do?
There's chocolate's good 24 or 365 days a year.
Yeah.
Chocolate's good.
So then I thought it was funny. So I was like, what other weird things can you pair with chocolate? And so then I just started kind of like Googling what other people do. And I was like, what if we had this business that we just put chocolate with as many weird things as we can?
As long as it's good, people want to try it.
Exactly. So that's how we got started. So we do sweet and savory items. At the booth at Farmers Market, you typically see me with, let's say, the chocolate covered bacon, obviously. We used to do the dipped chocolate, which is what inspired the whole thing, but not a lot of people bought the dipped chocolate and bacon here.
Okay.
So we just stick with the covered, which is the hardened chocolate over the bacon. And I discontinued the dipped bacon. So still go to the Strawberry Festival for that.
So is it the same chocolate just in a different way? I mean,
Yeah.
You just either you let the customer dip whatever they want, like a strawberry.
Yes. So you have the melted milk chocolate, and that's like a side of chocolate. Imagine nachos and cheese.
Ah.
Yeah. So you have the
okay.
side of chocolate and then a container full of bacon, and you just dip it.
Okay.
So we don't do that one anymore, even though it's available if anybody wants to order it. But I don't have it on a regular basis. But the covered chocolate is hardened dark chocolate. So I take pieces of bacon, dip it in the chocolate, let it harden, put a couple of drizzles on it, and so then you have a baggie full of, let's say, bacon candy.
Can you do that with milk chocolate?
I can.
Harden?
I can do it with milk chocolate. I prefer to do it with the dark. I use Ghirardelli chocolate with everything that I do.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought that was a trade secret.
No. I don't mind. I don't know. I use Ghirardelli. When I first started, I tried to do it the least expensive, and I kind of moved my way up. And then I got the Ghirardelli and found that was the best without going overboard with pricing.
You got to find that happy medium where people are willing to pay and the taste is good. Yeah, because quality matters.
Yes, it does. So that's the only chocolate that I use, and so I use white, milk, and dark chocolate depending on which product I'm making.
And what are the biggest things that people enjoy?
So you have the chocolate covered bacon. Like I said, I do use the dark. What I find what helps with the dark chocolate is that you have a lot of people that are on diets and they say, "Oh, I can't eat chocolate."
Oh yeah.
Well, I have this one woman who
I'm on a diet, but I don't use it. I'm not very good at it.
Well, I have this one lady who's been coming to me for like the last year and a half, and she has not lost weight due to my chocolate, but
Make sure you include that.
But she that's her snack because it's bacon and it's dark chocolate. And so it's not anything that's overboard. It's a protein and it's dark chocolate. And so she continues to lose weight, even though every single week she stops by and she gets several bags, and that's her nightly
That's her
treat.
reward for being on a diet. That's awesome.
Yeah, yep.
Now that would be something to tell everybody.
Yes, yep. So, but then other than that, I have bourbon bacon brownies. And bourbon caramel brownies. So I did bourbon bacon for about a year, and people would say, "Oh, do you have anything without bacon?" I didn't, and then we came up with the idea of bourbon caramel. So what it is instead of topping the brownies with bacon, we top it with caramel, and then people who don't eat meat or pork can have the caramel brownies. And it is infused with Knobs Creek bourbon.
Wow, excuse me. That sounds delicious.
And then I typically do a white chocolate bread pudding. I also can make a milk chocolate bread pudding.
Bread pudding?
Bread pudding.
I've never had that.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, gosh darn it. I fixed you a whole bag of treats.
Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna run back home and get it. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Or when I see you again, either or, I'll try that.
Yep.
Because I love chocolate.
Okay.
I'm a chocolate lover, and
Yep. So those are the, and then chocolate covered strawberries are seasonal. But those are the main items that you can typically find with me at the farmer's market. And my website, which is chocolatecovered.us, has other additional items. About once a month at the farmer's market, I try to do a savory item. The best-selling savory item I have is oxtails over Gouda grits. And again, chocolate has to be in there somewhere. So my oxtails do have chocolate in it.
Wow. You never know. You know, it pops in my head because as a snack for myself, not that I'm dieting, but a snack is I just love to grab a grape. Have you ever done chocolate covered grapes?
I have not. I've thought about it because I see it done with sugar and grapes, like a hardened sugar over the grape, but I have not tried but which is interesting. A lot of the items that I end up doing is based on a customer saying, hey, I've had people call from out of state and they're looking for a chocolate place to deliver a gift to their mom or their daughter or something. Do you do this? Like one woman asked about turtles, and I hadn't made the turtles, which is not a difficult thing to do. Well, I took the turtle concept and I made it's just cute little dome of chocolate and caramel caramel and nuts covered in chocolate. And it's just cute little poppable dome, but it was based off of her asking if I do the turtles. And so I was able to deliver her mom an anniversary gift.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And experiment, there's no limit. It's whatever people like a grape or anything. So at your booth, the chocolate is pre-made. You're not doing any of the dip at the market.
Correct.
Because I don't know, but I guess it's germed. The first thing I came with was germ.
I mean, I no, most of those things are hardened and made. I work out of Catapult's kitchen.
Yeah, Catapult. That's where I started. I Am Lakeland started in Catapult.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So I used the Catapult's kitchen, and so that's where I create everything. And then so we have the refrigerator and the storage and all that stuff there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's love that kitchen.
Yeah.
And the wood shop. Yes. And the environment is just so convenient, so nice and quiet.
Yeah.
It's almost like I call it a paid library.
Oh,
you know, you pay to get that peace, and you get the Wi-Fi, and everybody's so positive over Catapult.
I love it. I love it there. I love it. They're also very supportive. I get a lot of my business from Catapult, word of mouth, and it's a great place to be.
Absolutely. And are you originally from Lakeland?
I'm from Bartow.
Okay.
Yep, I went to Harrison Arts Center, so I've been around Lakeland, most of my life. I went off to Florida State. I did not finish at Florida State, but I was there for a couple of years, came back home, went to Polk State for a little bit. I finally graduated, and then most recently, about a year and a half ago, about a year ago, because it was last spring, I graduated from Southeastern with my doctorate in strategic leadership.
Congratulations,
Thank
a doctorate.
You. Yeah.
Wow.
People always say, what are you going to do with that? I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't take a doctorate.
What was your major?
Strategic leadership.
Strategic leadership.
Yeah.
Is that corporate? Is that?
Yeah, it's basically in the business realm, leading, managing, guiding a group of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. I quit college my senior year, my first time back when I was in my 20s, 22, 23, 24, and met my wife and started the family thing, and I always regretted not going back and finishing. And then in 2008, 2009, I got laid off, and I only had a year left for my bachelor's, and the VA said, we'll help pay for your last year, and I was like, all right. Yeah. So I finished my bachelor's late. I was like 45 when I finally finished.
Oh, wow.
So
nice.
Going back I loved it. Now a master's and a doctorate, I'm done with school. I can't imagine that amount of work.
What I loved about it though was, because it took me a few years longer than I wanted to finish my bachelor's. But the older I got, the more the education meant to me. Like I was actually learning things that I wanted to learn, that I cared about,
yes.
And so so when I finished my bachelor's, I guess I was in my mid-20s or so. I said, I better not stop. Let me go ahead and get my master's, or I never do it. And I got my master's. And actually, the only reason I got my doctorate is because a friend of mine, she had always wanted her doctorate, and she said, Sherrita, we're going to go back to school together. And I didn't think I was smart enough. I never thought I was smart enough. I was like, I can get a second master's, but I could never get a doctorate. Well, she passed away of cancer.
Oh, no.
And 2 months after she passed away, I signed up at Southeastern. I was driving it was Easter a few years ago, about 5 years ago, and I was driving back from Bartow from my family's house. And there was, because I had been kind of searching, what school should I go to? Don't really know where to go. And there was a huge sign, corner of Winter Lake Road in Bartow.
Yeah, right there.
Yep, that sign.
I know that sign, yeah.
And it said, why not Southeastern? And I was like, okay, God, why not Southeastern?
Amen.
And signed up, started 4 years later, I got my doctorate.
Wow.
So I did it on behalf of her.
That is fantastic. And nobody in my family ever went to college. And I did it for my mom. My mom passed away early.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, Mother's Day is on a Monday, and I graduated that Sunday, and I dedicated my bachelor's to my mom as well. So it's very encouraging to, do that for them.
Yeah.
So you have a regular job, I take it?
I do.
I don't know if you want to share that. But...
Sure, yeah, absolutely, actually. So my day job, Monday through Friday, full-time job, is I work for the Homeless Coalition of Polk County.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'll be done. See, that's why I have this, so I can learn about people.
Yeah. So we are the lead agency in our county for those agencies that give direct services to the homeless community. So if, for instance, you want a HUD grant, the grant would go through us. We would submit one collaborative application for the different members of the organization who wanted to submit money for HUD, then the money comes back down, and so on and so forth. So my job, I'm the director of strategic initiatives, and so one of the things I do is I monitor those individuals who have the grants. So I have to, if you get HUD money, then I have to go out and make sure that you're doing all your, all the stuff right to make sure you can keep getting money.
Yeah,
that's awesome. One of the things I do.
And are there any programs that you recommend, or anything to people who might be listening that we can include?
So yeah, I'll say annually, one of the other things I do is I do what is called a point in time count, and I'm not sure if you've heard of that, but every other year HUD requires that every county across the nation does a point in time count. We go ahead and do ours every year, except during COVID we didn't do it, but we received a waiver. So that's when I try to get about 100 volunteers. I assign you a geographic location somewhere in the county, and then you go out about 6 o'clock in the morning and you just canvass on foot the area, and there is a survey. So you stop someone, you say, hi, this is what I'm out here doing. I'm trying to get an idea of how many homeless people have in the community. Is there something you can help us with? That's a nice way of saying, are you homeless? Can I get your information? If they say yes, they'll help you. Then where did you sleep last night is the first question. If they say they slept, in a home or something, okay, thank you for your time. If they slept on a park bench or somewhere not good for human habitation, then you go on with the rest of the questions. They can answer as many or as little as questions they want. And once we get to the end of the day, we submit all that information up to HUD, and that gives HUD an idea of what resources our community still needs. It's not a perfect system to do the count that way, but it's the best we have, and they do their numbers, how they do their numbers, and so because we're all doing it within 2 weeks, we always do it within the last 2 weeks of January across the nation. So you pick your day. I typically do mine the third Thursday of every January. So that's one thing. So I always send out emails starting around September to start trying to get volunteers for that.
That's fantastic. And have you seen it make a change, a difference?
Unfortunately, it's increasing. So fortunately, unfortunately. So on one hand, as a person who is responsible for getting enough volunteers and spreading across the county, the increased numbers on one hand could mean that I'm doing better at getting enough people out there to do the count. Okay. But it also could mean, does it mean that we have more homeless people? Okay,
I see. Wow, that's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And you still accept volunteer? Anybody who wants to volunteer? What do you do?
Absolutely. If they're 18 or older, just shoot me an email. I add you to my list, and as we start, so every volunteer has to go through a training. The training lasts maybe 30 minutes, and that just gives you an idea of what to expect when you go out there.
So when you say HUD, it's a federal program?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Housing and Urban Development
It
federally.
makes you think, like, if you want to use an incentive, give them your chocolate. And chocolate would be a nice incentive. I'll answer your question. I like that bacon. Give a cent on bacon.
That's not a bad idea. That's true.
And you never get to, hey, we use this as part of our budget and everybody wins.
That is not a bad idea.
Well, where can people go to volunteer or how?
Sure.
What
So
information?
my name is Sherrita, Sherrita, at pokehomeless.org. So
Okay.
you can always send me an email. Our website is pokehomeless.org. And so, yeah, we have a lot of members, like you've heard of Talbot House, you've heard of Lighthouse, you've heard of Gospel Inc. All of those different organizations are members of the Homeless Coalition.
Fantastic. And back to your chocolate. If people want to get in contact with your chocolate, how do they do that? You said coverchocolate.us?
Chocolatecovered.us.
Okay.
And then, or you can email info@chocolatecovered.us.
Fantastic. Is there anything else we can include that you can think of that I'd like to really promote you? And I've tried your stuff. I know how good it is. I've only tried the one thing, the bacon, back in the day. But is there anything else that we can incentivize people to come try?
Well, other things that I do, so with Chocolate Covered, like I said, I try to do sweet and savory items. If you don't see me at the farmer's market, you can always give me a call, 863-220-9709. You can email me, and you can always place an order throughout the week. I can meet you at Catapult. You can do a pickup. I do deliver sometimes. But I also do grazing tables and charcuterie boards.
Ooh.
Yeah.
My wife loves those charcuterie.
Really? Yeah. So I do the boards. If you have 20 or more people, I can do a full blown table. I can do dessert tables, which is just a table of desserts. I do those things as well, and you can just give me a call. We can chat about what you're looking for you, your family, your friends, whatever. And I love creating. My Instagram and Facebook are both chocolatecovered.us, and so you can go to those things to find pictures of what I've done. I have my grazing tables posted there.
That sounds so good, but you gotta watch it. I mean, I'm getting older. I don't kill a lot of calories anymore, but.
Well, what's fun about those is they're all customizable. I've even done vegan charcuterie boards.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna call you Doctor. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Dr. Sherrita.
Yep.
You need to take advantage of that because if you done put in the work, too humble. You're too humble. Well, thank you for being my guest, and you can contact me anytime, and I will promote you as much as I possibly can. Everybody, Lakeland, I'm all about Lakeland, Thank you, Coas, for letting me use this room.
Beautiful.
And have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Sherrita.